A recent survey found something almost impossible to believe. Among parents who take their young children to Disney World, nearly half have gone into debt to pay for the trip. Not savings, debt. At first, that sounds like their problem. Until you try to book a Disney vacation yourself and discover there isn't one price. There are hundreds of them, hidden inside each other like a puzzle designed to be unsolvable. And that is not an accident. Because Disney World is not really a theme park, it is one of the most sophisticated money extraction machines ever built, a financial engineering company that happens to own some roller coasters. It pulls in tens of billions of dollars a year, and it has spent decades quietly perfecting how to separate happy families from every dollar they have. This is the insane economics of Disney World. Here's the first thing Disney does not want you to realize. Disney World is not built for children. It is built for adults. Think about it. A small child does not book the hotel. They do not choose the ticket package, buy the merchandise, or put $5,000 on a credit card. The entire machine is aimed at the grown-ups holding the wallet, and specifically at a very particular kind of grown-up. The super fan. The person who does not just visit Disney, but organizes their whole identity around it. There is now an entire online world of so-called Disney adults, people who visit dozens of times, collect the merchandise, and plan trip after trip. To most people, they are a punchline. To Disney, they are the single most valuable customer on Earth. And creating them was not an accident either. It took 30 years of deliberate engineering. So how do you turn a childhood memory into a lifelong spending habit? The strategy is simple to describe and brutally effective. Keep people emotionally attached to Disney long after they have grown up. It started in the 1980s and 90s under Chief Executive Michael Eisner, who realized the real money was not in selling tickets to kids, but in never letting those kids emotionally leave. Then came his successor, Bob Iger, who supercharged the plan with a shopping spree unlike anything in entertainment history. In 2006, Disney bought Pixar. In 2009, it bought Marvel. In 2012, it bought Lucasfilm, and with it, Star Wars. Suddenly, Disney did not just own fairy tales for 6-year-olds. It owned the superheroes and space sagas that grown men and women obsess over. It had quietly bought the emotional attachment of almost every age group alive. And every one of those characters could be turned into a ride, a hotel, and a reason to come back. This is where Disney becomes something almost no other company on Earth really is. Most businesses sell you a product. Disney sells you an emotional relationship that lasts your entire life. It starts when you are a toddler watching the movies. It continues through the parks as a teenager, the honeymoon as a newlywed, the trip with your own kids as a parent, and the nostalgia tour as a grandparent. Disney has engineered a customer it can monetize from birth to death. And every new movie is not just a movie. It is a factory for future rides, toys, and reasons to visit. A single character like Elsa from Frozen can generate billions of dollars across films, merchandise, and park attractions for decades. That is the real business. The movies are the advertisements. The parks are where they collect. And once they have your loyalty, they build a system designed to lock you in for good. Because loyalty alone is not enough. Disney wants you financially committed, so it built an entire ecosystem of hooks. There is the official fan club, with membership tiers costing anywhere from $100 to several $100s a year just for the privilege of being a superfan. There is the Disney Vacation Club, essentially a timeshare where fans pay tens of thousands of dollars up front to lock in future vacations, which conveniently guarantees they keep coming back for decades to justify the cost. There is pin trading, collecting, and endless limited edition merchandise engineered to trigger the fear of missing out. And notice what changed inside the parks themselves. For years, the flagship Magic Kingdom stayed completely dry. Walt Disney had refused to sell a single drink. Then, in 2012, that finally changed, and alcohol quietly arrived because Disney had learned a simple truth. Adults with drinks spend more and stay longer. Every one of these is a thread. Together, they weave a net. But the real trap does not start inside the park. It starts the moment you try to book. Here is where the genius and the cruelty of the system reveals itself. Try to book a Disney trip and you are instantly buried. First, which of the more than 24 Disney-owned hotels across 4 different price tiers? Then, which ticket? 1 park per day, the pass that lets you hop between them? Or the version with extra add-ons? Then, the dining plans, the special tours, the after-hours events, the photo packages. And every single price moves depending on the date, the season, and the demand. Like airline tickets that never sit still. It is nearly impossible to know if you got a good deal, because there is no simple deal to find. This is the trap, and it has a name. Call it the confusion tax. When you are overwhelmed, you do one of 2 things. You overspend, terrified of missing out, or you underspend, have a worse time, and book another trip to do it right. Either way, Disney wins. And once you are actually inside, the machine shifts into a higher gear. The parks are not laid out for your convenience. They are designed as a funnel. Almost every ride, no matter how magical, empties you out through a gift shop on the way to the exit. Ride the spaceship. Exit through the space merchandise. Meet the princess. Exit through the princess dolls. Your children are marketed to at their most dazzled emotional moment, and you are the one holding the wallet. The food is priced like a captive airport because you cannot exactly leave and grab something cheaper. The average wait for a popular ride can stretch past an hour, which sounds like a flaw, until you realize what Disney sells you to fix it. Because the solution to Disney's lines is not free. It used to be. And the story of how that changed is the clearest proof that none of this is an accident. Here's one of the most brazen moves in modern theme park history. For about 20 years, Disney had a system called Fast Pass. It let you skip the long lines by reserving a ride time in advance, and it was completely, totally free. Then Disney quietly killed it. In its place came a new system, rebranded and repackaged, where skipping the line is no longer free. Now you pay for it. And at the top tier, cutting the lines can cost hundreds of dollars per person per day on top of a ticket you already bought. Think about what happened here. Disney took something that was free, made the lines worse for everyone who does not pay, and then charged you to escape the very problem they created. The people who understand the system buy exactly the right passes. Everyone else waits in the heat, feeling like they are doing it wrong. And that feeling that you are always one purchase away from doing Disney correctly is the engine that drives the entire machine. And Disney has one final trick to make all of this spending painless. Inside the parks, you almost never touch real money. You do not hand over cash or even really tap a card. You wear a wristband or tap a phone linked to your account. Lunch? Tap. A stuffed animal your kid is begging for? Tap. Another round of drinks? Tap. Every purchase is frictionless, invisible, and completely disconnected from the feeling of actually spending money. Handing over a $100 bill hurts. Tapping a wristband does not. And by the end of the day, most families genuinely have no idea how much they spent, until the statement arrives days later, long after the magic has worn off. This is not a convenience feature. It is a psychological tool engineered to switch off the part of your brain that says, stop. And for a growing number of families, the bill it produces does not just sting. It follows them home. Which brings us back to that opening statistic. Roughly 1 in 4 Disney visitors now go into debt to pay for the magic. And among parents with young kids, it is nearly half. Many carry that debt for months or even years afterward. And Disney is right there to help you do it. The company offers its own branded credit card, dangled with small rewards and perks that sound generous. A bit of credit toward tickets, some Disney reward dollars. But read the fine print. After a short introductory period, the interest rate climbs into the range of a typical store card, often somewhere between 18 and 27%. Put a $5,000 vacation on that card and carry the balance, and you can end up paying around $100 a month in interest alone long after the trip is over. And the rewards you earn, they are mostly only good on more Disney products, quietly pulling you back for the next trip. It is a closed loop, and you are inside it. And here's what makes it all so ruthless. For most of Disney's history, the movies were the star, and the parks were just a fun side attraction. Not anymore. Today, the parks and resorts are the most profitable part of the entire Disney empire. The reliable money machine that funds everything else, from the films that lose money to the streaming wars that burn through billions. When a Disney movie flops, the parks quietly cover the losses. That is why every decision points in one direction. Extract a little more from each guest. Raise the ticket a few dollars. Add one more paid upgrade. Nudge the prices up to just below the point where you would finally walk away. Disney has become, in effect, a financial engineering company that happens to own castles and characters. The magic is real, but behind it runs a spreadsheet, quietly calculating the exact maximum it can charge you to feel like a kid again. So let's do the math nobody at Disney wants you to do. A single family trip to Disney World can easily run $5,000 to $10,000. Once you add up flights, hotel, tickets, line skips, food, and souvenirs. For that same money, that exact same family could spend a week at an all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean, where the food and drinks are already paid for. Or even take a trip across Europe. Disney is not selling you the cheapest vacation or even the most relaxing one. It is selling you a feeling, and it has spent decades making that feeling almost impossible to refuse. And here is the part to sit with. None of what we just described is broken. The confusion, the paid line skips, the invisible payments, the debt. It is not a system with flaws, it is a flawless system, working exactly as it was designed. So, is Disney World a scam? No. And that is exactly what makes it so effective. The rides really are magical, the experience genuinely can be worth it, and there is nothing wrong with loving Disney if you can comfortably afford it. The problem is not that Disney charges money. It is that Disney has engineered a system so overwhelming, so frictionless, and so emotionally loaded that millions of families spend far more than they ever intended. And some go into debt chasing a feeling. Disney did not build the happiest place on earth by accident. It built the most profitable one. A machine that turns your childhood memories into recurring revenue. And it works flawlessly every single day. This is the insane economics of Disney World.